Saints, I was seeing some more things so clearly recently because a brother had been in my comments and we were going and sharing some things, and he was saying some things. I think he saw that quite differently from what I'm going to show you, but at the same time he was on the right path. And it made some things that I've been sharing so much clearer and answered a couple of questions that I had concerning the fall of Babylon, how it happens, when it happens, the results of it. For if you've been following my videos on the book of Revelation and the end times, you see how all this is laid out. God has laid it all out before my wife and I so perfectly from Genesis to Revelation. And we see in Revelation chapter 18 about the fall of Babylon, that Babylon will fall in 1 hour of 1 day. Revelation 18:2. And he cried out with a mighty voice, saying, here's this angel crying out with a mighty voice, saying, fallen, fallen is Babylon the Great. And it's talking about the fall of Babylon. And then you see in verse 8, Revelation 18:8, for this reason in 1 day her plagues will come. And it talks about the fall of Babylon being in 1 day. And then you go on reading in chapter 18, and you see in verse 17, for in 1 hour such great wealth has been laid waste. So in 1 hour of 1 day, Babylon will fall. And Babylon, who is Babylon? So many Christians, they just so in love with the world, they can't hear the truth. Babylon is the greatest nation on earth. Babylon rules the earth with its money, its might, its power, its stocks, its real estate, its government, its military. Babylon is the greatest nation upon earth. And it will fall, as you see here, in 1 hour of 1 day. And only the USA can be that country. And Christians want to get mad at me. They want to unsubscribe. They want to get mad. They want to come down on me. The USA is the greatest country on earth. Yes, Babylon's the greatest country on earth. And it's going to fall in 1 hour of 1 day. It's the world, though. You see this government now, how evil it is in every direction. All this being exposed, the corruption, the money, the sex, the trouble, the just evil everywhere. It's the world. We're not to love the world, nor the things of the world. If you want to be ready for his coming, you can't love the world nor the things of the world. You can't say, no, I won't accept God's word because the USA is the greatest country on earth. It's the world. It's the darkness. It's all going to fall. And as we see here, Babylon, that country that rules over the earth, will fall in 1 hour of 1 day. And as I've had in many of my videos, I go through the entire book of Revelation. In my playlist is the completed book of Revelation, 107 videos. And it goes over most everything. And how does Babylon fall in 1 hour of 1 day? That is here in Revelation chapter 8 in the blowing of the trumpets. The first 4 trumpets all cover just one thing. The trumpets are not multiple disasters. The book of Revelation is not full of multiple disasters. It's one thing happens, and that causes Babylon to fall in 1 hour of 1 day. And that is an asteroid hitting in the ocean off the coast of the United States, which causes the sudden destruction and downfall of the USA money supply, stock market, wealth. Look at right now what's happening in America. All over the world, everybody's dumping their money into the United States. Trump is bringing these things about. Trillions and trillions of dollars. Everybody's investing in real estate, in companies, in the stock markets, in the money markets. It's all flowing into the United States. And if the United States falls from power, if its money supply is worthless in 1 hour of 1 day, think of the effects that it'll have across the earth. The whole earth will go into upheaval. And what happens? Within 3.5 years, the kingdom of the beast suddenly rises up. That's what's restraining him. Babylon's restraining the coming of the kingdom of the beast. Because the United States right now rules over the earth, and it would never allow such a thing, especially in the United States. But if the United States falls in 1 hour of one day, suddenly the kingdom of the beast will rise up in great power. And in just a short time, less than 3.5 years, it's in power. That can only happen if the United States falls. And then these countries in Europe and the Middle East will get together, these kingdoms, and they will make one money supply, and they will start commerce, and they will be bringing military and money and stability and food and water back and bringing this to the earth again during the tribulation. And that is why everybody will follow the kingdom of the beast and the Antichrist. They will think it is a great thing. And we see the downfall of Babylon in 1 hour of one day in Revelation 8:8. And the second angel sounded. Remember, the first 4 trumpets are all describing one thing. One asteroid hitting. It's just different looks at that asteroid hitting in an ocean off the coast of Babylon. And the second angel sounded, and something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea. This can only be, as you see it described in the first, second, third, and fourth trumpets. I can't go over all that right now. But this can only describe one thing. An asteroid hitting in an ocean. I've got all this in my videos in the completed book of Revelation. This is all one thing, an asteroid hitting in the ocean, which will cause the downfall of the U.S. money supply, military, dollars, the trading, the buying, the selling, the stock market. It will cause the downfall of the entire world system. And now I saw something. This brother was emailing me something or in my comments, and it just struck me. 2 things I didn't see so clearly. Here where it says, and something like, in the book of Revelation, every time it says like, it's not an exact thing. It's referring to something else. It's something in particular, but it's referring to something else. It's something like. It's like saying, this tree here is like the ones in Hawaii. It's something like. And it's describing something in particular, but it's like something else. So we saw here in the second angel sounded, and something like a great mountain burning with fire was thrown into the sea. And as you see in the first, second, third, and fourth trumpets, this is clearly an asteroid. So many people want to say it's not. There's nothing else it can be. And this is not 4 different asteroids. It's one thing. And this is falling down. And something that always bothered me is it can't be a great mountain, a mountain-sized asteroid. Because if it hit, it would destroy the Earth's population. It would bring destruction, end of all things upon Earth if it was a giant mountain. And that always bothered me. Because it has to be at best a moderate-sized asteroid, enough to destroy the Washington, D.C., New York City area where all the military, the might, the money, the real estate, the stock market, the dollar, everything from the world is traded there. And now all the world is putting its money into the U.S. military, stock market, dollars, real estate. It's all dropping in here from around the world by the trillions. And if it was a giant mountain of an asteroid, it would wipe out life on Earth. It has to be at best a moderate-sized asteroid. So that always confused me. But I knew it said there, something like a great mountain. And through this other brother's comments, suddenly, the Lord made this so clear to me. In Daniel, talking about Nebuchadnezzar and his dream and this statue, which I can't go over that right now, but you can look online and Google it and see this statue. It starts at the time of Christ and works its way up to this head of gold. Look what Trump's doing. I'm not against Trump. I'm not for Trump. I'm not for the U.S. I'm I'm in the kingdom of God and you should be. We're waiting on our king. But Trump is bringing all this money in. He's making everything in the White House, in that area, in the rooms there, gold. And this structure, this statue gets built up from the time of Christ and the Roman Empire right up to Babylon, this head of gold. Everything's gold. And in the White House, in the rooms there, he's making everything gold. In New York City, right off the coast there, one of the boroughs there, one of the towns there, the name of it is Babylon. It was named in honor of the Old Testament Babylon. So all this is lined up. And in Revelation 8:8, that's something like a great mountain. Like it was huge. But now it's all come together. Now it's here in Daniel. I see it now so laid out. Because Nebuchadnezzar has this dream, and Daniel interprets the dream. And that's all these kingdoms that have rose up since the time of Christ, ending up with the head, with the time there where the kingdom of the beast is coming. It's this head of gold, and Trump is bringing all this together with all this money coming to the U.S., all this gold in the White House. Don't make it evil or good. Stay out of politics. Walk with God. We got a king. We got a kingdom. We don't care about these. And in Daniel chapter 2, when he's describing all these things in this statue, look what it says in Daniel 2:34. You continued looking. I've continued to look. I've continued to wonder about this, something like a great mountain. And I said, that's too much. That's too big. But I can see what happened. That caused the downfall of Babylon in 1 hour of one day. You continued looking until a stone, listen, a stone. You continued looking until a stone was cut out without hands. An asteroid, moderate size to smaller size, but big enough to cause total destruction in that area. An asteroid is something that's not been touched with human hands. How did it put it there? A stone was cut out without hands. God does his things. Man does things and God uses them. God's in it. But God does his big things himself. You know it's him. This stone, a stone, not a mountain, a stone was cut out without hands, not touched by human hands. An asteroid coming from space. God set all that in motion. That's a stone cut without hands, never touched by human hands. And it struck the statue in its feet of clay and iron and crushed them. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, the gold, all these parts of this statue being built up since the time of Christ, all these kingdoms, all this worldwide, different countries at different stages, and all coming up to this head of gold which rules over the whole earth. The power, the hammer of the earth, the money of the earth, the military of the earth, all this. And the gold were crushed. Listen. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were crushed all at the same time. And became like at the same time as an asteroid hits. All of it falls in 1 hour of one day. Because it hit the statue's foot. It's just a dent. Here's this giant statue. It wasn't a mountain that crushed the whole statue. It hit it in its foot and became like chaff from the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away so that not a trace of them was found. All this that life and governments and kingdoms and rulers has been built up since the time of Christ, ending up with Babylon, with this gold head, will fall in 1 hour of one day. And then there'll be no trace of them. And that will allow for the sudden quick rise of the kingdom of the beast and the Antichrist, which will come with the power of a bear and with the speed of a leopard. But listen, now here again, but the stone that struck the statue, listen to this, it's stone, it's smaller. Here I finally see this, it's not a great mountain, it's something like. But the stone that struck the statue became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. The effect of this moderate to smaller size asteroid hitting in just the right spot, just hitting a spot, hit its foot, a great mountain, and it filled the whole earth. The effects will fill the whole earth as this entire statue, this system of the world falls in 1 hour of one day, making way for the kingdom of the beast and the Antichrist. And that's what it's talking about when Paul's talking about, you know what restrains him, restrains the kingdom of the beast and the Antichrist until he's taken out of the way. What restrains him is Babylon. Until Babylon falls, no kingdom can rise up and make you, especially in the United States and other developed countries, you can't buy, sell, trade, eat without their mark. That's not happening now. That can't happen now because Babylon rules over the earth. And now in Daniel 2, let's go up to 45. Inasmuch, Daniel 2, verse 45. Inasmuch as you saw that a stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it crushed the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God has made known to the king what will take place in the future. So the dream is true and its interpretation is trustworthy. So we go back here. So this is a stone, but it becomes a great mountain. The effect would be like a giant mountain asteroid hitting the earth. It affects the entire earth, but it's a stone. It hits the statue, these kingdoms, these rulers, these nations, just in the foot. It just makes a dent in the earth. Big enough to bring down Babylon, but not a giant mountain. And again in Revelation 8:8. And the second angel sounded, and something like, when it says like, it's referring to something else. It's like the stone that's coming down to hit the foundation, the very foundation of this giant statue, these kingdoms and rulers that have rose up since the time of Christ. This stone will hit it in its base, and the entire thing, even the head of gold, will fall. And something like a great mountain, burning with fire, was thrown into the sea. And a third of the sea became blood, and a third of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. This is talking about as that asteroid hits in the ocean off the coast of the United States, and it's got to be around New York, Washington, D.C. to have these effects. As it hits, 1/3 of all the creatures and ships in that sea, referring here to an ocean, died. The ship sunk. And later, as you read in the Bowls of Wrath, by the end of the tribulation, all the creatures in that sea are dead. All the ships have had their effect at the beginning of the tribulation, whatever effect it would have on the ships. But all the creatures died because as that asteroid hits and stirs up all that debris and has that effect of heating the ocean and spreading out, it will spread out. That's what you see in the Bowl of Wrath concerning the asteroids hit. It's by the end. So we see, now it's something like a great mountain. Because this stone not made of hands. Remember the temple of God? Where are those living stones not made of hand? He lives in a temple not made of hands, not by man. That's what's wrong with you Christians that think this temple that the Jews want to build in Israel is going to be some great thing. You're waiting for it. You're following it. You're waiting and following for the Antichrist. That's who's coming there. God does not dwell in temples made of stone and wood by hand, by man. And this stone is not made by man. This is God making a big change as this moderate-sized asteroid will hit in the ocean, and it will be something like a great mountain because of the effect it will have worldwide. Saints, we need to get ready. These things are so clear to me. I have these people message me, tell me, send me videos on things. None of them come true. You can't put two things they tell you. That the one guy can tell you 5 different things and they don't go together. God has laid this out. Genesis to Revelation about the end times. Everything he's shown me has come true or certainly will come true. Everything these other people are trying to share, tell you, it's nonsense. I hate to say it. 99.9% of it is nonsense. And we need to be focused, ready, not to love the world nor the things of the world, because he's coming. And this world is darkness. And when it falls, whether it's your country or another country, if you're in another country, we're to be waiting for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. We're his kingdom. We're to be waiting for that. Not loving the world, whatever country it is, whatever kingdom of it is. If you're going to say, no, I love that country, I love America, I'll die for America, I'll never believe it. Well, you love that country. I'm sorry. God is waiting for a people that are ready, begging to abandon everything and repent, prepare the way of the Lord, and be caught up to his kingdom.